Welcome back for the long awaited, the long anticipated season 2 of Good Earners, reviewing The Sopranos. Spike, what's good with you, bro?
What up, though? Glad to be back. Season 2. New bosses of Jersey, new stuff to talk about,
Yeah,
new people, new characters. I'm ready to get it.
yes, sir. And here on Good Earners, man, we talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and most importantly, the black perspective. This week, we'll be reviewing season two's episode of the pilot, not the pilot, but the first episode of season 2. Guy walks into a psychiatrist's office. Spike, do you got the synopsis pulled up, or you want me to do that?
I do have the synopsis pulled up. If you're giving me one moment, sir. Welcome everybody back to season 2, man.
Oh,
Miss y'all.
I forgot to
Sure y'all
mention.
missed us. Go ahead.
I forgot to mention one of the other achievements that we got. There was a meme I made a while back, but the guy that plays, I think his name is Ray, but I don't remember exactly. But the gentleman that plays Lil Carmine, he
Mm-hmm.
had liked my memes. So I was like, he got.
What meme was it?
It was this fake meme I made of him like running for president, and so it says, I'm sure I'll be a better president than the one before, but until then, it'll be hard for me to confirm. It's the whole thing of that funny phrase that we all laugh about. So, but he ended up liking it. Somebody shared it and shared it to him, and then him I was like, oh yeah, I need that screenshot. So that's my claim to fame right there.
I like it. Good shit. All right, man. Season 2, episode 1 is called A Man Walks into a Psychiatrist's Office. And we see the aftermath of what happens when somebody tries to take a shot at Tony, somebody being Junior. Junior's in jail. Everything seems to be going great for Tony per this opening montage, but he has a new visitor in town, a new episode to add to the cast. And boy, will we enjoy this ride when we get to meet Tony's sister. Also in this episode, man, we see Tony go from up to all the way down, and we see what attributes to him being the boss of Jersey now since Junior's locked up. This is season 2, episode 1. A guy walks into a psychiatrist's office.
All right, so our opening scene, we get a montage. I want to highlight this song is fire. But before I get into highlighting how fire this song is, we get an open montage. There's this black man. He's going through class. He's calling out names, and then he says Montesanti Christopher, and an Asian guy says here. So we already pick up that. We get a montage of Livia in the hospital, Tony stacking up cards. It looks like Ray got out of jail from last season. He was one of the people that was at the place with Makazian when they got locked up last season. So Paulie introduced, they all hug him and kiss him. We also see Tony's status change in this montage from capo to street boss. We see that Melfi is at a motel where she is doing her practice. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss nothing. Silvio is trying on a new suit. You see, he's number 2 for real now. And it kind of just bounces around. We get Christopher snorting coke. I don't believe we got anything like this last season. I don't
like what?
Like him snorting coke.
He was on heroin last season.
The first season?
Yeah.
When?
He was a junkie. He was he had some scenes in there where he was like tooting the powder, and like they alluded to him being a junkie.
Where?
Season 1. Absolutely.
Man, y'all chime in here because I don't think that was season 1 yet. I know what you're talking about, but that ain't okay. We'll pick that up. But lastly,
when he got beat up by when the thing with Tony happened, he got out of the hospital. He was saying he needed to get high. You remember?
He didn't go to the hospital first season.
When he shit on himself?
Who?
And Adriana was picking him up from the hospital? Christopher?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Come
Right.
on.
But when did they allude for him getting high?
He alluded to he wanted to get high after that whole stressful, troublesome situation. Like they kind of alluded to him being like dibble and dabbling.
Huh.
throughout the
Okay.
first season.
Well, he definitely. He definitely had the plug. So I mean, it's not far fetched. I'm not going against it like that. But last in the montage, you get Carmela with this, kind of this unsettling face, and that's just about it, really, until we get the opening scene of Tony. But what was some things that you gathered from just that montage?
I think it showed that the place that we saw Tony start in at the beginning of season one, we're going in a different direction. You start with Chris at the brokerage. They're trying to get his licenses, just trying to find different rackets for the organization. And also with Tony in this montage, it shows just him handling the day-to-day life, the things that would change. So, excuse me, I think they did a really good job of bringing us up to date of what happens when Junior tries to kill Tony, swift through the motions, and then let's put you right here in the middle of it. So I appreciated it being a montage. I didn't think they needed to spend too much time on it.
You think they spent too much time there, or you think it was just
I
enough?
didn't think they needed to. Yeah, I think that was perfect. That was perfect.
Okay.
Go through the montage. Okay, we're growing because we got to do different stuff for the money.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do the see Melfi's still in hiding, like everything that you said.
Yeah, they
AJ growing up.
AJ Meadow doing the driving. He's giving her the driver test, so we get the age reference. Okay, she must be 16.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Everybody's growing.
Yeah. So, and the interesting thing to me too is, with me, I wrote my own series for some people that don't know, like an audio fiction. But doing season twos are so interesting because the first season you give so much of it to try to establish the identity of a show. You're like, okay, this is the type of show we want to be, and some things work, some things don't. But when you get to a season two, you're established as like, okay, now we can maximize on what worked, and we can really, trim off what didn't really work. And they got right to it here. And this was advanced. We talking 99, 2000. This is very advanced to tell you, instead of saying last time on The Sopranos, giving us the montage with this dope song, When I Was 17. Like, this is fire, bro. Like for the 90s, 2000s, come on, dog.
It was a good bringing. It was a good bringing. I definitely agree with that.
So the next scene we get, Tony wakes up, and actually even before Tony comes in from, being with a Gumar, and there's a scene where him and Carmela's eyes are closed, his eyes are closed, and then she opens hers, he opens his. And it's just an interesting thing. I feel like that is going to be a seed that is sown that'll be later developed throughout the series, but even in this season. But we get Tony walks out to his driveway. He sees this, what looks like a Cadillac parked over there, and he's leery of it, and come to find out.
It's a Riviera.
It's a Riviera, okay.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's Big P. What did you gather from this moment right here, and even going into the basement scene?
The pussy had been going away for a while. That was one of the things that they purposely left off the montage so we would see, right where that picks up. And I appreciated that. Tony was skeptical. I have in my notes here, we couldn't tell if Tony, of course he ran back up the driveway, but I still, even though he accepted pussy to be back, I couldn't tell if he thought he was bullshitting or what. If it was, oh, I love this guy because he's my friend, or I believe what he's saying. Like, I want to believe him because he's my friend, or do I really believe it?
Yeah.
I don't think we really got a clear picture of that, and they did a great job of that.
Oh, man.
Here to the barbecue. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll say on that part, I got a few things here too, but I'll say on that part, if you notice, Tony hugs him twice.
Yeah, trying to see if he got a wire.
So, yeah, that first was that wire hug, and he tells him to come back, and he hugs him again. So I think that speaks to the two sides of the thinking that Tony's having. You know what I mean? He wants to be a great boss. He wants to be like, better than the guys back in the day, because they have it better off according to what he spoke about in the pilot. But I think interesting, Big P said, you have my word. If I come in there, I'll come back out. And Tony never gave him his word. I think that was just a subtle look.
In his house with the family there, though.
Huh?
Oh, I said he ain't gonna kill him in the house with the family, though. Pussy was smart. He knew where to pull up on Tony at. Like, it ain't gonna be he knew Tony wasn't gonna take it to wherever he wanted to take it to at his home.
Yeah.
So he knew he would at least get a read off of Tony and know if he needed to dip back out forever or if Tony kind of believed him. And I think he thought he was convincing enough to stick around, as we saw.
Yeah. I think another thing, I don't know if this is breaking the fourth wall, but when they get to the basement, Big P says that, like, y'all abuse that joking shit. which I think is like foreshadowing through the whole series because I feel like and I don't feel like abused in like a negative way, even though I think that's what he meant because he the calling him a whale, calling him fat. We'll see they'll do that later with a character named Bobby. That for some of y'all that never watched this before, they're constantly doing this. Black people, drug addicts, gamblers. They definitely abuse the jokey. So I thought it was funny how he did it. But what do you think about how Big P was playing this? Because we already kind of spoiled what his position is, but for those who may have not caught the spoiler, I'll still try to tiptoe around it. But we have an understanding of what he is or what his role will be later. How do you think he's playing if you're in his shoes?
He is playing this from the position of these dudes love me.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go against their better judgment. They're going to believe what I'm saying because they love me so much. I've done just enough to where it doesn't look as fishy as it should. Because later on, we hear Paulie say that he did the research and checked it out and it came through.
Yeah.
However, being the position that he in, the people that he's dealing with, he knows the consequences if he's not convincing enough, and he knows if they don't love him like they do. Like Tony said, this might be my man since I was young.
Yeah.
So he's gonna overlook some of the small shit, and Pussy did a good job of making sure there was no small shit that jumped up at him. So his position was, I'm gonna bank on how much they love me and how much have faith in being Big Pussy, and the guys love me. What you think?
Yep, I agree. I like it. There's this thing where Big P like evades the questions and kind of flips it back on them, saying like, "Oh, because I'm sick, I gotta take medicine. I was popping Percocets like candy." He's using it. He's kind of turning the narrative back on them. Like, wait a minute, how could y'all not trust me? Are you serious?
You're like, who do y'all think I am?
Man, bro,
like, it say a lot about you now if you don't believe me. Because for all these years, I've been your man's.
Yeah.
And that's what made it good. Like that, he was brilliant at that. He was like, okay, they got to fuck with me. I'm coming back. So he took a big risk, but it paid off.
They did. I like that. Not trying to spend too much time there, but I did like that. I did have a question. Did Tony trust him in this moment, Big P, because he didn't evade telling him who was over Junior's crew? Because they're right at the end, because this is transitioning us into the next thing. But he was like, well, who's over the crew now? He was like, Philly Parisi. Like, why do you think he was? But I mean, but do you think there's only reason I asked the trust, because I'm like, he don't really owe him this information if you kind of side-eyeing him a little bit, but you kind of rocking with him too. Why would you tell him who's the head of it? Who's the head of the
Philly
crew? That's what I'm saying. He told Big P that right before we go to the Philly scene.
Right.
You feel like it's just general information?
Well, I mean, it was the truth. As far as Tony, as far as you being a new guy letting it back in, it does speak to the trust, as you're saying. Like, he didn't let him in on the plans. Like, yeah, Philly the boss now, but we finna pop him because of all the shit that he been talking. So yeah, he don't give Pussy all of that information. So that does kind of show that he doesn't fully trust him and doesn't want him taking information back. Is that what you meant?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony still he had his doubts, but again, he loved him. That's his man's.
Okay. Yeah. You're killing this. So we pan over to Philly Parisi scene. I can't remember this guy's name. The guy that ends up popping him, but Paulie
Philly.
Yeah, that pops Philly. He got a simple name. It's
he's from Philly. Dude was from Philly, I believe.
No. I think the brother, that's his name, Philly Parisi. We'll later get,
he asked him how was Philadelphia, I think.
He asked him how was Philadelphia.
He hopped in the car. He asked the dude that you're talking about that got out of the car and shot him. When he got in, Philly asked him how was Philly, how was being in Philadelphia, because he thought he was away. He dropped him off at the airport. This dude was coming from out of town. He didn't even have no idea he was in town.
So I didn't think I don't know. I guess I didn't pick up him asking him. He said, "Hey, thanks for doing this, Philly." I don't know even if they told us that, but maybe he did. He was playing like he came from Philly or not. You might be right on that.
Boston. I'm sorry, Boston.
Okay.
He said, "How's Boston?"
Okay, got you. But
I'm
Philly
now,
Parisi,
who has a twin.
Yeah, has a twin that will later
really
be
convenient
revealed.
plot twist.
Yeah, and David Chase has spoken about it, and like I said, we try to work within the world, but sometimes he said he didn't something along the lines of like he was such a good actor, and he kind of was like, "Dang, I kind of shot myself in the foot." He's really killing this little bit of spot, and he's kind of was well known, I guess, at the time for some other roles, and so that's how they kind of wrote back in the twin thing, which I'm a fan of Patsy that later is revealed, so that didn't bother me. But what did you take from this scene with the whole car ride and the fake plane drop off with Paulie dropping them off? What did you take from this scene of him like popping them right there?
Did people have been talking about what happened?
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Tony's aware that people have been talking, and Tony wanted control over Junior's crew. If I take the guy that Junior put in control out,
okay,
then now I got control of his crew too. So
that's what I was thinking. I was wondering how much. Okay, that's why I was wondering like how much is this built around? Like Marlo, where it's like my name is my name. How much is it built around that part, and then how much?
Some of it was that, yeah.
Okay,
some of it was definitely you talking about my mom, psychiatrist, which is why he asked him, I think, about it. Tony probably want confirmation, but also I believe some of it was I want control of Junior's crew. This is Junior's man's. It's not my man's.
Okay.
So if I take him out, I'm gonna put my man's in there. He gonna run Junior crew while I'm gonna go because I'm the boss now, or I'm gonna go in and knock them off.
Got you, and we'll find out later that position is a cursed position. This is the first taste of that.
Running Junior crew was wild.
Boy, this specific position, like, but with the guy, and y'all hit us up, man. I can't remember this dude's name, but later down they tell us. But when there's a couple things I wanted to ask. There was a moment where he asked him, and he kind of was like, kind of like he letting it go. So was there any chance? If dude was like not talking about it, he still was gonna get popped regardless.
It was over. It was over. Because he already talked too much.
Oh, okay.
It so really confirmed their suspicions.
Gotcha.
It didn't matter what he said in that car. You still been saying too much out in the streets. Like you done told this story how many times, nigga? You comfortable telling this story? Like, nah.
So
like, even if he had been silent, even if he had been that day, right here. This is what I'm here for. Ain't no like he could have been silent the whole car. Yeah, he could have been silent the whole car ride, but it's over for you, brother, because you've been running your mouth too much. I like if Tony has already heard about this dude out here saying this, that, and the third, it's over for you.
Gotcha.
Like, it don't matter what you say right here in this car, really. Okay. Like, dude already been called to do a job.
Got you. How do you feel about the hit? Was it a beautiful hit to you or no?
I don't know if it was beautiful. It was good.
I didn't like
cool.
it.
Like the drop off at the airport, like I think it was a cool little setup. What didn't you like about it?
The setup was great. I think the whole fake, like I've been waiting tight, like that was fire. To be like, bring that bag back. I need that. Knowing Paulie as cheap as he is, like, yo, I need that. Like, you know what I mean?
So but what didn't you like then?
The pop for me, because it felt delayed. Like if you look at it, it just in that moment, it's like he almost had time to react a second. Like
you didn't see him get the gun out. Like your nigga sitting over there with his finger on the trigger. You don't know this. That's what that was.
You see what I'm saying? Because he's looking at it. He's like, it's almost like a video game, Grand Theft Auto style. There you go. You big
ran your mouth.
Yeah, I was like, I get it. I think it's realistic as far as doing that. I just think that the way it was kind of executed, it felt kind of slow-mo to me. I just didn't like that. That's probably it. Maybe some of y'all know what I'm talking about. If you go back to that scene, you'll see how long the gun is in his face before, But we pan over to the next scene. Tony gets the calls. Seal tells him, "Yo, it's done. It's over." Tony make one of his first big boss moves as the boss, as far as we know. We pan over to. There were two things, two phone calls. Seal calls Tony. Tony calls Melfi. So it's just to say there's two calls. We pan over to Chris at Wabistics, and we meet some of his young boys. That's what we're gonna call them for now, the young bulls.
Chippendale.
Chippendale is crazy. Definitely Chippendale. This moment, for one, was Chris asleep or was he high?
High.
Yeah,
and that's what we supposed to know from first season. Like, this nigga gets high. He was dozing off. Yeah, it was.
And then what is this? Adriana basically says, "Hey, this is your ship. You know, if you want to steer it down or whatever, if you wanted to go downhill, it's your decision to go down shore. That's what she says. But it feels weird because Adriana, and we'll get it even more later down the series, but she pushes the agenda of wanting Chris to be more. What, did this seem weird to you?
No? I
No?
don't understand what you mean. No, I didn't.
So Chris is legit, according to this moment, right? I mean, she probably know he look.
No, he ain't legit.
Well, not legit, but she know he running a racket, but he's fully dressed up.
He's moving up. He's got more responsibility.
He got more responsibility. He's dressed up. He ain't doing a construction joint. So in her eyes, okay, he is dirty, he's still a part of the mob, but maybe these are steps towards getting him away from that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
You don't think so?
No, hell no. She know who Christopher Moltisanti is. Like, I don't think that there's any doubt in her mind. Like, she has no doubt in her mind that he finna be like a mortgage broker or whatever the fuck he doing in here. Like he's a mobster. He's a wise guy. She knows that. But she does realize that he has more responsibilities that he needs to, he's stepping up to. Like, she's proud of that. So I think that even leads to her saying, hey, let's, like, you can make the executive decision. Like, if this is boring to you, it ain't just because you do this, you got to sit in this office all day. You should have the capability and be able to go down to the shore with me and still handle this. Having good people in position to delegate to when they ain't gonna beat the shit out of somebody if you walk out of the office. So yeah, I think she know what he is. Like, there's no misgivings for her as to what Christopher Moltisanti is.
I agree. I think she know who she is, but I still think, I don't know if it's kind of that woman logic or if it's something else where there's this hope for, because I imagine there's, I don't know. I mean, maybe when I ain't gonna say necessarily
the same hope. It's the same hope Carmela has 40 years later or 20 years later.
Well, yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying.
Nothing's gonna change. Like, these guys are who they are. I think.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying, what you're saying, it comes off to me more like, you already mailing it in. You're the hope is
that's
already
what she signed up for. Like, I think the hope is a pipe dream. She know it's never gonna happen.
You think she knows
some kind of way she's satisfied? Absolutely. Her, Carmela, all of these ladies.
I think you shooting a lot of bells,
change, bro.
I think with Aid is
they sign up for this lifestyle. No, absolutely not.
You don't. Okay, we'll have some later scenes that maybe we'll come back to this because
she's dealing with a junkie. Like, this nigga is a criminal. If she thought that he was gonna be anything else, or she expected anything else, she would have left.
Why she support this dude's 2 lies on his
she
paper?
Like it too. Like, that's what I'm saying. She's a part of this. She signed up for this,
bro.
Like, she want to be a part of this lifestyle. Otherwise, she's attracted enough. She would have went and got her a regular Joe Schmo.
No,
we see how Christopher treats her for 5 seasons.
No, I mean, here's this shit. But okay, here's what I'm saying.
She want to be Carmela.
She said she didn't want to be Carmela, old and wrinkled.
Yeah, she do want to be Carmela, but she don't know.
That she's right.
Otherwise, she wouldn't be dealing with Christopher.
Those are facts. I'm with you for the most part. All I'm saying is, I think 2 things can be true. That's what I'm saying. I think that, yes, she wanted the lifestyle. She wanted all of the benefits. She knew who she was dealing with, but I still think part of her was operating. I know what he's dealing with, but at some point in time, maybe that type of thing. And then eventually, when there was a chance to say, hey, later down the road, you could do this decision, and end up panning the way it did. I think you just shooting. I think Carmela's a different scenario than Aid. I really do.
I think they're the same. I think Aid, Carmela, Jackie Aprile wife, Pussy wife, all of them the same boat.
Same boat, but not the same.
Janice, like all of them. They know what you're signing up for.
I think you're going in with like you're thinking of like versus. I mean, they know what they're signing up for, but I think it's more complex than just what you're signing up for.
I don't,
because you don't know how far you're signing up for. They would have chose
other men. Yeah,
you don't know how
you do though. These niggas are professional gangsters, bro. These ain't like, like these niggas is in the mob.
Okay,
like,
but they don't know but they don't know the extent, bro. They do.
They know the extent.
No. They have an idea. Like, that's the point of them keeping them at bay. Where do you think
Carmela think their house comes from?
She knows
Tony
it's dirty.
Don't got no job.
No, she knows it's dirty.
That's the extent of it. Like, you can't think a nigga is half timing in this if you got a house that looks like that. Or you got cars that look like that. If you're able to do those things, same thing with Pussy's wife with the body shop that we learned later.
Yeah.
Same thing with Adriana.
Yeah, but
like, you're afforded this lifestyle because of what you're willing to accept. And the reason that you're willing to accept those things is because you've already written off or signed off on what this person is. Otherwise, it wouldn't even get there. Like, you wouldn't even be accepting it if you didn't know what they were. You're walking away from it. Like, nah, I'm cool off of this. I'm not accepting that because I know what comes with it.
I think you
No?
I hear what you're saying. I just think that here's the
You're
like,
giving
okay,
these white
you're
women too much grace, brother.
no, I'm not. Like, I'm totally with you. I am totally with you. I'm saying,
Okay.
you be like, oh, I'm with somebody that's crazy. I know they crazy. Oh, you signed up for it, you know it's crazy, but then you see the extent of how crazy. You're like,
But see, no, that's what I'm saying. You don't get to see the extent.
No, but hold
Once
on.
you say I'm signing up for crazy,
okay,
all bets are off. Every kind of crazy it is, you got to take it.
Okay, you're right. You're right. That's what you signed up for. I got it. What I'm saying is, you have an idea in your head of how far crazy is, and then when it's past that, not saying, oh my gosh, what is, yeah, you signed up for, you're right. All I'm saying, this is human nature. Like, anyway, but nonetheless,
No,
what?
Go ahead.
Nonetheless,
no, go ahead.
they go about their business. We'll keep revisiting that, but I can't wait till we get more of those calm moments. We'll probably have another moment when we get to that scene. But also the young bulls over here, one of the guys on the phone. This is a stock market company, or what is this? A broker?
Yeah, brokerage company.
What is a broker? What?
Okay,
same thing. Okay, so the guys over here just chilling, like, oh man, such and such stocks is about to go up. Dude immediately hits him with the hot coffee, and they start whooping the living life out of this guy. Do you think do you think these dudes was like too thirsty to, like, you know what I mean? Like, were they too thirsty? Do they look like Chris and his friend in the first season right here in this moment?
I think this this goes to show that, Chris he's developing his own crew.
Mm-hmm.
He's got guys, that are doing stuff for him. They look up to him and shit like that. But the vetting process isn't great. Like, they still knuckleheads. This goes to show just how raw that they are, to act, especially compared to where Christopher is. Christopher's moving up. He getting the certifications and shit like that. He's able to bring more money into the family. These dudes are henchmen. They what Christopher was, him and Brennan. They are what him and Chris were last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's showing like that Chris has moved up some. He got guys like him answering to him now. This is some shit that him and Brennan would have did last year.
Definitely probably would have did that. What did the manager mean when he says, I know who really runs this?
It's a mob outfit. This, like, the people that they shucking know they getting shucked. It's just like your boy later on at Wussy with the sports shit. It wasn't, oh, we just gonna come in. Like, they dude probably was own that place, had some bets to the mob. Now they coming in, they own half his business. They finna run that shit into the ground. This is just a macro level view of what we see later with the sporting good shit.
Yeah. Okay, because it was like weird. I'm like, is he talking about like the real legit dude, or he talking about Tony?
He's talking about the mob. He know that he's in debt to somebody, and he had to let them come in and do this so they could run his company into the ground, make as much money as they could, and him making.
So what are you gonna tattle? He's just gonna tattletale on the young boys? Because that was what he was coming at the manager. Like, when he brought the knife up to him.
Well, he was like, I don't know who the fuck y'all are. Like, why are y'all?
Okay.
It's not supposed to be going this way. I've already agreed to y'all ruining my company. You can't be beating up my employees too, bro. Like, where's Chris at? They dogged him, which was retarded.
Well, Chris refers to it later, but
they did a wonderful job of making these two dudes look stupid throughout this season. Ooh, these was really irritating. One of the most irritating characters on this show.
Wow. Irritated. That sound like you. Your tolerance is pretty slow.
I hated these two idiots, man. Chip and Dale for real was their name.
Chip and Dale for real. Dumb and Dumber. We pan over to.
But shout out to him though. He plays in that's Sonny from my favorite movie.
Oh yeah, man. You know what?
Matthew Bevilacqua, man.
Man, that's even legendary just to say you was a part of Sopranos, and you played a decent little part. You gotta, you get a beautiful hit.
He did all right through this.
You get a beautiful hit later, we go over to Tony and his attorney, and I had my question. So they're just meeting and they're talking. I think they're just talking about Junior and his estate and all that. But the attorney is saying that Junior gets out let him still be the face as before, but Tony. I'm trying to remember. I worded this a certain way, but they're saying something about Junior got the chance to basically get out. If Junior gets out, will Junior be the face again, or will it stay Tony? That was my first question I wanted to ask.
No, they through playing the face game.
Jerk
it's
off
over
Joe
for that. Yeah, it's over for that because he knows that Junior tried to have him wet. That's why they would.
Oh yeah.
That meeting was about make sure you don't try, even though he's gonna get out, don't try to do nothing to him. And he brings Hetz in to make sure you don't try to do nothing to him because most likely you're gonna get caught if you try to do something to him. Okay. That's what that meeting was.
Okay, because I was confused, but it makes sense because they did change in the montage from Capo to Street Boss. So it's like,
so it was like Junior may be getting out due to this, but make sure you can just maintain and not try to kill him because they coming to get you if you try that.
Okay, got you. He then gets a call, and we learned that Tony has two sisters. I don't know if we learned that before in that flashback and Down Neck.
We knew it last year. They were talked about Barb.
They talked about Barb too.
He said.
Oh yeah, because it was like the newborn, like at the right. You got it. Yep. So yeah, just getting a quick call about Janice being in town. We're starting to see some kind of right here we kind of see Tony. He's got this smile, and he's like playing it calm, kind of cool, kind of irregular a little bit for Tony. Did it seem like that in your first time around watching this?
About the Janice news?
Well, just like this episode, because we'll talk more about it, but I'm gonna wait as we get there. But like kind of like Tony's like demeanor, kind of, attitude, like he's handling things and everything's coming his way, but he's kind of like, oh, that's my sister. She just came in from Seattle, and like he's trying to like really be chill about stuff.
That's a great point to bring up. That I think that was one of the focuses of this episode to show, hey, I haven't been going to therapy, but still I've been all right. I've been able to maintain the stuff that I learned from Melfi last season. I've been able to implement. It seems as if everything is kind of going good for Tony, like you said. Yeah. And I think that they tried to hammer that in throughout the episode and also try to show how it decayed away. Janice comes through and all these different things start to happen. And you get, I can't hold this demeanor. And the first person who starts to notice that is Carm, continuously telling him like, oh no, you need to get back in therapy because I see it coming out. I know you, nigga. And one of the other great ones, like you said, is when he was telling Christopher about like the two Chip and Dale fucking up shit. Like he took it very well. Like, look, bro, like you bullshitting. You fucking up a whole lot of money. So yeah, I do think that they were definitely trying to show I'm all right. If I'm Tony, I'm okay. I'm maintaining. I'm handling it until that thing pushes me over the edge.
Okay. We now go over to the Bing, and Big P is reintroduced to the crew. Seal does the joke, the classic joke that he did in the first season. Every time but he put a little sauce on it. I thought it was funnier this time.
A whole lot of most stuff, yeah.
It was like what does that word even mean? Skifuza or whatever he said.
I don't know what that means,
bro. But it was hilarious to me. Like when I went back and watched it, I was like, yo, that's kind of funny. Like, Michael, like, but anyway, Big P comes and he's asking about the routes. He's asking about the money. He's saying, yo, so that money just evaporated, because Paulie's telling him like, yo, we took care of everything. He said, we made our pickups. He says they're ready.
So much you can expect, nigga.
Yeah, but that was the funniest little low key, they were like basically like, well, we got most of it. Of course, these dudes is cutting that.
All of it, nigga.
Boy, they probably left them a little bit over. Maybe they came out of their personal stash, but they definitely cut those routes, dude. Like, so what did you take from this whole scene right here? P's back introduced. Everybody's flowing with it because obviously under Tony's married.
Yeah, they filling him out. They're trying to see where he at. Do they believe him? Do they understand? Like, Tony probably put that in their ear, Seal, Paulie, like, just what y'all think? You know what I'm saying? He came in the crib. We talked in the basement. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. And I think that was them filling him out. Do we feel like he's trying to get too much information? Is he still just a part of the crew? Which shows the brilliance on Pussy's in because I think that he's
Yeah.
receptive. He knows it. He know what they trying to do, which shows as to why he was probably such an effective snitch, or would have been an effective snitch. But yeah, it was a good job of just kind of showing that he hadn't been there, and slowly people getting a feel for him again.
Yeah, I never, until we did this podcast, I never really watched it trying to look at it from the other side, kind of like we did with Febby on the college episode. I kind of was looking at him as like a worthy opponent at the moment, like how he could have, got Tony in a different universe. And like even here, looking at Big P and the stakes, he's in here and he's amongst all of them. We know what his position is. For those who've seen it, those who haven't, I'm trying not to reveal it here, but if y'all picked it up, it is what it is. Having to focus only, like, it's like you have to be so intentional about keeping people from questioning things about you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be like, what's up with the money, or what's up with the this, or what's up with like, you got to push everything that way, because you know your story is going to start getting real twisted if you start getting down to the details. So I like that he's again pushing the ball in their court for what he has to do at this moment. I mean, it's not going to work out, but we'll find out what happens when we get to that point. But we get the line, our true enemy has yet to reveal himself. Great line. And when we get to the series finale, I'm going to double back on that line. When we get to the season finale, I will too. But when we get to the series finale, I'm going to double back on some information I've come across. They were asking about Jimmy's route. So was Jimmy under Big P? Is that? Because I was like, wait, he's asking about Jimmy's routes. So
I feel like they was on the same level.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Jimmy and Pussy was on the same level. And he was just asking, probably trying to get more money. I've been gone a while. I'm trying to take over his shit too if it's over.
It's a good way to play it off. Again, do you see this moment where, it seemed like Tony is like controlling his anger here? Do you kind of see it again here?
In the Bing scene?
Well, because we kind of jumped ahead here, but Seal reveals to him that the guy that's at Wabistics, he's in an emergency room, from getting whooped. And so then,
I thought we were already past that.
No. No. But anyway, then Paulie reveals the information. All right, but we're starting to get this slow build up, and he's still holding it in because, I mean, you got to imagine how challenging this is for Tony. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's boss. He wants to do right. He wants to be better. He's a legacy guy. He's all about the legacy, how he's remembered by both families. He's big on this, so he's trying to keep his cool. He almost got whacked by his Uncle Junior's people, his own uncle, his own mama. All of this. He's stepping in the role, trying to take care of business, but he's yet trying to keep the stress level down. This is with no therapy, no help. It's commendable. We go over to the next scene at the Soprano house. We see Janice. We get to see for the first time Tony and Janice. They embrace each other, and they're having a great family moment. He slaps AJ in the head. He's like, "You look good. You look like a teenager." And she's going by Pravati. Everything is all good right here for a moment. They even step outside and have a moment, whatever. What did you gather from this scene? This is our first introduction of Janice, a big character in this series.
We finally meet the biggest gangster in the Soprano family.
Oh my God,
Janice Soprano.
This guy
lays the law down for all other Sopranos. Now, I mean, it's an epic character in this story, and I'm glad that she's brought into the fold here. Of course, we don't know that at this moment, but we know that Tony's on guard, and if Tony feels like that he has to be on guard, we know what she's coming in with and how much respect that he has for her hustle. Like even with the phone call earlier, it was like, already, I know I'm out of this. Yes, you can stay at the house. It's like he's already lining himself up for the defenses of how Janice is about to shuck him. So we know how much that she's done that to him in his life. So I appreciated the respect that he gave Janice, and she lived up to it as a character.
Yes, she did. You know what? Interesting. Watching this again this way, I noticed something. I don't know exactly. We'll get further down the road. I mean, we know how Tony looks at Janice, even in this episode, but Carmela, I don't know how she looks at Janice, but if you think about it, Janice left the whole Soprano name and family and all that, and she found a way to hustle and get it on her own. Now, her lifestyle obviously is not great from what the clues we get here. She says she's in therapy too, but it's through government aid, which is an early finesse. You know what I'm saying? Like
disability.
from
Permanent
working
disability.
permanent disability for working at a coffee shop because her hand, what at carpal tunnel, whatever. Um, but it's interesting to me because she's found a way to keep surviving, lifestyle or not. Versus we look at a Carmela where she kind of holds herself and thinks of herself in a certain way, like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. The later quote that'll come. So I never really looked at Janice like a hustler so much. I mean, of course I did with Bobby, but like even here, I'm like, she's always found a way to finesse. And her character reminds me so much of my brother. But we'll get more into that further down the road of like how you kind of pounce on certain relationships and emotions on people, and you don't care what that leaves them at to get your end goal. But
yeah, that's Janice's character in a
yeah,
nutshell.
but Tony tries to lean in for a kiss and she wasn't feeling it. So I tie back to the montage. She had this kind of dull look on her face right here. She moves out the way for the kiss. We got the early morning scene, her opening her eyes and closing it. Of course, last season want sex. So this is beginning to build up certain characteristics of Carmela. I talked about last season, the theme of wanting something else. That is going to be a recurring thing for her. But this season is going to be a different theme, I feel like, going through it. But it seemed like the family was excited about everything. Tony goes out and smokes a cigarette, which I think is interesting. Some people do deep dives about how Tony feels about people based on what he smokes around them. Cigarettes, when he did with Melfi, Chris, her versus cigars. I'm not gonna get all the way into that part of it. I would have to bring the information forward. But is Tony genuinely cool to see his sister at this moment, or he's still holding anger in from the history?
I think he's just filling her out.
Okay.
He's trying to see why she there, trying to get the real reason. As he said to Carmela before, I know that there's a shuck coming. I just don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what it's gonna be. And as he listened to it, he thought it was one thing. As he was listening to it, there, like, oh, she just want a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
She want to take mom's car and she gonna take mom's back to Oregon. I can live with that. Cool. I think that he's still trying to figure it out, and he gets that out of it. He thinks that, okay, that's sufficient. Let me peel off something from the bankroll and let me get on about my hair.
Mm-hmm. She kind of came back and she tried to kind of establish like, well, I'm not here to really stay. I'm just trying to take care of certain things and stuff. And he just had this subtle line. He says, well, you were gone for 20 years. At least Barb pitched in. That's crazy to me. When I heard, I don't know if I may not never caught that line, but the fact that you have been out of the Soprano picture for 20 years, not a hangout, call, money, anything to help with mom, and now you want to come back, but yet he smiles it off. It's a matter of fact thought that Tony kind of carries this. Very
he don't blame her though. I don't think he blamed her. Like, as mad as he is about her, he know his mom. Like, she literally tried to have me killed. So I can't blame you for getting however many thousands of miles away it was in Seattle and not helping or checking in. Like, you did the right thing. So
So you think he's more upset that like you left me?
Yeah, you did what I wish I could have did. Like, if all of us had done that, then what would have happened to our name, the family, or whatever it may be. So I commend you for doing it. I just couldn't.
Yeah. And she's the oldest sister, right? He's the middle, and then Barb's the baby.
I think so.
Okay. But yeah, he's keeping his cool at this moment. We're gonna get some more build up. We go to the Bing again, and this is where we get the Christopher Tony scene. But he grabs Christopher's face like how mama, well, maybe not your experience, but some of our experiences. He grabbed Christopher's face like how black mamas would grab your face when you were out too late. You did something disrespectful. You got out of pocket, some kind of way you was out of line. He grabs him with the pink cheeks, bro. One, have you seen this in real life in your experience? A mama grab somebody like this?
Nah, I ain't never seen that before. Wow. Not out of that, not hatred, but like, hey, you cute.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, hey, y'all, you got that jaws. Like, I ain't never seen it out of like, I'm pissed off at you right now.
Wow. Well, yeah. All right. I definitely have. It's happened to me. It happened to my brother. And I even seen my auntie jack my cousin up. As soon as he came in the house, she jacked him up like it was a robbery. Put her arm in his neck, grabbed his face like that. Crazy. But my question was, what do you think the proper approach as mob guys should have been to get them to push Wabistics instead of beating him into a hospital?
Well, I don't know what the proper approach would have been, but I know that wasn't it. And I know that the expectation of Chris wasn't that. And I think that was part of the problem. You can't leave these dudes in charge and control at this level just because you're lazy, especially you haven't told them what to do if shit hits the fan. Yeah. Shit hit the fan because I guess he wasn't trading the right stock and they overreacted, which leads to what Tony was talking about. Chris, you got to pay more attention. If you want to be a leader, you want to be more involved in this shit. Like, you can't have assholes like this running the shop when you're away. It's cool for you to be away and make executive decisions. That's fine. But you can't have bullshit in place. And these two dudes is bullshit.
It's like, where do you get these guys? Still a later ask. Okay.
But those are young guys. Like, they feel like that's what they have to do. This is the same shit Tony or Chris would have done when they were their age.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we talked later about, heists, robberies, rackets, young boys. Ralph talks about the glory days. Tony, of course, Paulie. They all got those glory days of trying to make a name for yourself as a young boy. So I mean, I guess it all makes sense. It does. We go over to Livia's house, and Tony has her house up for sale. What a big boss play here. And it makes sense too. I mean, it's a boss play because it's like, oh, you try to kill me. Yeah, guess what? You ain't got nowhere to live. So no matter what happens to you when you get out the hospital, if you get out the hospital, you ain't got no home. And two, I got you in Green Grove anyway. Like, let me get that. I need that. I bought it. I'm gonna sell it. You know what I mean? So what did you gather from the scene with Carmela, talking to Tony, and he's getting heated. You're starting to see it kind of spurt out a little bit as she wheels him back in, like, hey, you talked about having your sister and them over. You wanted to have a barbecue. Barb and the family's coming in town. She wheels him back in. What do you take from this scene?
I think this scene was to show us that the cracks in the armor were there. I think throughout the first couple of scenes, we showed that Tony did a great job of dealing with conflict, dealing with the stuff in his life. However, the daily nuances, the mundaneness, just the small, simple shit fucks with him still. And the first person who notices this, brings it to his attention, is Carmela. Like, look, bro, you ain't in therapy no more? Because, like, you're getting a little too mad about this shit. Like, what do you even care about it? And she's bringing it to a situation, and we see it start to build up throughout the episode.
Yeah. It was a couple of things that I gathered here. One thing, she was like, she needed Tony to pick up sausage. Okay, so this kind of bothered me. You want me to pick up sausage for the barbecue? I didn't understand why she asked him to do it versus her doing it herself if she's a homemaker. What do you mean?
Gotta go get ready for the party.
Well, go get.
You literally work at the meat shop, the butcher shop, bro. Like, why?
That's not his job. He's a waste manager.
But that's part of your route. Like, come on. Like, she's saying that. Like, I don't want to pay for what you get it for free. Go down there and pick up some sausage.
That's exactly where I was going with it.
That ain't no problem though. I mean, he paying for it regardless.
I know, but it's always that, like, because that's the early seeds of, like, you want to turn your eye at a certain thing, but you want all of the, you know what I mean? You want all of the benefits of the finesses, right? But
I ain't with you on that. I think that's a reasonable ask. Like, bro, you're too busy. You threw all of this shit on me. I'm going to go get everything ready for the party. We need sausages. You can at least go pick them up. Right? You can see a woman like that.
No, this is realistic. This is right on the bread. Yeah, this is right on the bread. Like, this is real.
Women don't care. You can be
you be in the middle of the party. We need more ice. Like, well, we'll see that later too. But
go give me some ice.
That's funny.
Like Bill Cosby at the Thanksgiving scene. Go back to the store. You got the wrong shit.
Got the wrong thing. Man, I've been there.
Huxtable.
Boy.
Go back.
Tony, he said something interesting. We get a little reveal here about Carmela's parents. The only reveal I think we had prior was last season when they're in the bed and laughing, or no, I can't remember the scene, but it was when her mom told her that she shouldn't have married him. So we get that. That's a gem from last season. We'll get a little bit more of that. But Tony says that he finds it funny how all of a sudden her parents want to come over now because they know Livia is not going to be at the party, and they're cool with that. And
yeah, I don't see what the big deal. Yeah, she literally tried to kill you, so you should understand where they're coming from.
yeah.
I don't even understand why he was mad about that. Like, you know the piece of shit that your mom is, bro.
They probably don't, but with them being old, they probably don't think it's true about she tried to kill you. Like,
well, they don't know that, but I'm just saying he knows how hard or difficult it is dealing with his mom. So why would you think other people who not even in your family want to deal with that bullshit?
Because you know how certain people be like, I could say something about him, but don't you say nothing about him. Like, you know that weird dynamic that, yeah, I think that's what it was. I wouldn't
expect my wife's parents to be like, hey, well, you know, your mom's a bitch and she wished that you never married my daughter, but I'm still gonna come around. Like, no.
That's funny. But yeah. And she was asking what she was said lastly, she had said about them not having sex. And so I'm like, and he even kind of take a breather. I'm like, dang, Tony, you giving Irina all the juices, bro. You ain't on your job at all. Like, you ain't go floating. You ain't go try to like once a week. You know what I mean? I'm like, Tony, you slipping, bro. You know what I mean? So I thought that was just a funny little detail right there that she revealed. And she, she ain't stepping out of nothing. So I felt for her. I think
that goes to the layers of it as well.
Okay.
It shows the reason that Carmela, again, we as the viewer, we're looking at this throughout the montage, the way that he handles Christopher's situation, the way that he handles Pussy coming back. We're looking at it as if, oh, okay, Tony, at least me, my digestion was Tony good. Like, he ain't really needing the therapy. He's processing stuff well. He's coming out with good stuff without getting pissed off. However, Carmela, who has more insight on the situation, there with him every day. We know women notice things about us, our women, before anybody else does. So, like, those are the things that start to pull at the strings of maybe he's not all right. We ain't had sex in a while. She's recommending the therapist. Like, it shows that, yeah, it looks okay, but it ain't really all okay.
Yeah, and she's the only one that knows that, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. We go over back to Wabistics. Well, Chris is talking to the manager. You know, he's got the corporate suit on again, just settling things out. Then he called the young bulls, Chip and Dale, to the office. And basically he's telling them, like, man, y'all come from the streets, you know what I mean, so to speak. Y'all come from the streets. Y'all know how this game works. You don't bleed somebody all the way out if you want to keep, you know what I mean, basically finessing them, keep collecting off of them. You gonna end your whole, you know what I'm saying, income right here, because you're gonna get them out in one take. I know y'all hungry to be in the game, but y'all gotta do it the right way. And I thought an even funnier part was, and next time y'all decide to steal a Porsche 2 streets over, I want some of it.
2 towns over.
2 towns over, I want a piece of it.
Give me a piece of it.
What did you gather from this scene?
I think it showed that Christopher's grown up some.
Okay.
He has learned how to handle some responsibility. He took the feedback from Tony. He went and applied it to those guys, gave him some game in a way. It shows it to Chris, okay, he's stepping up in the game. He ain't just some 2-bit gangster. He's really becoming a main guy. And he's, again, giving them knowledge. And it showed how dumb that they were for us to be having to look at Chris, because we know how dumb Chris is. So these niggas must be bottom of the fucking barrel if they making Christopher look like he giving Tony type advice out. So those are the 2 things that I took from that. But he looked good doing it.
Yeah, I like that. I like seeing him in this space. But the dude seemed like he knew what he was talking about. He was like, there's 400,000 shares on 60 cents. I don't know if he just read this off something. I'm like, and he's like, we could cold call senior citizens, pump and dump. Because they basically trying to see, like, when should we sell? And I think we later learned that, like, the reason they really should have sold, but I think they're finessing somebody specific, I think, down the road on this episode, where it's like, nah, we got them bought into it. We playing a different game. Because I was like, man, why wouldn't they share it? Why wouldn't they sell? But we'll get to that later. But yeah, I like this. Another funny, weird detail. I don't know what this means. Maybe somebody can hit us up, Good Earner Pod_Sopranos. When he gave him the coffee was cold. But when they hit the guy earlier in the episode, it was hot. So I don't know. There's probably somebody deep into it, like, mean something. I don't know. But, you know, they got to think about eggs and all kind of stuff. And we pan over to Janice and Meadow go and visit Livia. Janice has a quick moment there, but has to leave for a moment, and we see that there's a little heartfelt moment between Meadow and Livia. What you gather from this scene right here?
That Janice hadn't been up there with her like she said. She said all you do is stay on the elevator. That's one. The other one was just Tony hadn't been really vocal about what happened to his family. He's not trying to shit on his mama name. Like Meadow still really didn't have a clue, nor does AJ. So he's just trying to play it by ear with her and not shitting on her name like she would do him.
Yeah. I think a few things, not trying to get extra deep here, but I'm sure this plays some kind of part in the Soprano verse. Janice being up and down elevators, you just been on the elevator, I think kind of speaks volumes. We'll get like a later scene I don't know if it was this season or later on, but there's a season where they pan over to stairs, like a stairs sign on the wall. We know Janice has some moments with stairs. Livia has some moments with stairs. We've already seen that the household. So I think like elevators is another way to look at it, is like a shortcut. You take shortcuts. You're always taking the easy way out. That's my deep dive on that. It doesn't have to mean a whole lot, but that's kind of that. I think Janice it seemed like Janice is more of a daddy's girl. I think she was more under Johnny than Livia. And I think that Tony would have probably been more under his dad if his dad would have allowed it, based on the flashbacks. If his dad would have let him be with him, but he was moving and grooving, then I think he would have been closer with his dad. But by proxy or whatever, he ended up being closer with his mom. But then as he get older, obviously they start to find out she's a crazy old bat. But yeah, you know what I like though? Do you think this was genuine from Livia, what she was saying to Meadow? Because she was just like, no,
absolutely not. No,
wow,
I don't believe anything Livia says. Like we were talking about last season, it's really hard to tell, but I'm leaning on the side of no versus yes.
I'm with you. The challenge for me is she has nothing to gain finessing the kids. She could be lying very much. I mean, I have no idea still, and they did a great job. But like here, it just felt like she was like, listen to him, listen to your father, listen to him. And which seemed weird to me, because it's like, if it's forget you for real like that, I ain't gonna even speak whatever about him, me and you. But she said, listen to him, he's your father. I don't know. To me, it felt genuine, but it could have been that tapping in and out of thing that she got going. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I just don't believe her. I just do not believe her. And that's just based off what she did last season. And I think as viewers, that's how we're supposed to be looking at it.
Yeah. Do you think?
I don't think that we're supposed to be buying into any of this stroke stuff, but it's hard to tell, like we said.
But on the other end, what if it's meant to? What if on the other end it's meant to like actually gauge it from every scenario, because they don't never like, because it's easier, right, for a viewer. It's easy for us to just pick a side, so it don't give us brain farts, whatever clogging. We just, all right, this is what I'm gonna believe. This is the narrative I'm rolling. Cool. But what if that the intent is to make you each scene, it's like, okay, this moment is this, that moment is that, to almost have to figure it out. I mean, I'm not saying that is that, but I wouldn't throw it way out of David Chase's wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Where you do have to almost gauge it scenario to scenario, where her mind is back and forth, and you don't know when it's this versus that, because it's like that in real life when you're dealing with somebody. You spoke about like dementia, or like when they're this or when they that, they really meant that, or they didn't really mean that.
They did a good job of clouding the situation. However,
that's
just
the way
based
you roll
off what we've seen and what we know, I'm siding against her.
Okay.
I'm siding that it's not real, that she's bullshit.
Okay.
But again, like you said, it from scene to scene, you do kind of find it hard to be like, well, is she all right? Is she okay? But I think this just goes to how conniving that she is to the character.
She's really good. So we get something simple, but it means a whole lot. Tony's driving. He's in his own bag. This is his alone time right here. Just, I need this. I'm singing a little song. I'm having a good moment, until all of a sudden the radio goes bad. I don't know if it was a cassette, what CD, what this was that went bad.
You that young? You don't know?
No, I didn't see him pop in anything. So at first I'm assuming
this has happened to me before. I've done this. 100%.
Got you talking about passed out, got in a car accident because your radio
Well,
didn't work?
not all the way like that. Yeah. The CD is skipping and like why it shouldn't be skipping. It ain't no scratches on here.
Yeah, yeah.
Then everything just starts to come out and you like beating the dashboard. Like, I've done that. I totally felt him in that situation.
Yo, my mama had an Oldsmobile and she used to beat the heck out of this radio, bro. I mean, cow, like crazy. But he gets so angry. Now we're seeing a little more of that anger spew over the cup here. And
what Carmelo was talking about.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about. Because now the little things are spilling over when really he could be angry with the big things. But because he's boss, I'm not afforded to be angry. And then on top of that, if you want to get real deep with it, I'm not going to operate from an emotional standpoint of my anger like Junior did. Sure, he was in this. I talked to somebody and they told me that, yeah, he was in pocket. Like, you know, when you talk going against the boss like that, you spread stuff. Yeah, he's in pocket to, you know, cap you off or whatnot. But still, I can't be emotional like Junior. I want to be an effective boss. So that's a part of it. But then it spews in these other areas that may seem like they don't cost much. But this moment clearly could have went super left. He could have been out of here. And I mean, rest in peace, James Gandolfini. But man, when he goes into the panic attack and does the blinking thing, like he really looks like he's going into an attack. So he ends up crashing, and no harm is done here, but major. But yeah,
it shows just there are chinks in the armor. The you know, the threads not being as tight as you like them to be. It looks good on some phases, but then small stuff like this pisses him off.
We pan over to Tony with the new therapist. I think this is the only time we see him with a different therapist. If I'm correct, if I'm not correct, yeah, hit us up. But the new therapist, he says, Mr. Spears, I watched the news and I've seen analyze this. I thought this was a funny fourth wall break here. What did you gather from this moment?
Trying to be funny too. Trying to be funny, probably with being tapped into pop culture at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not taking new patients. I don't even know. I wonder, and they're so good. They don't even give you, how did you get here? And even then, remember Paulie last season was like, I don't understand. I can't compute that he's with a woman. And then you see, we get this idea. And I almost like, if this would have kept going, there's no way I could have seen Tony, even if it, you know, they did give him another therapist instead of Melfi. I can't see him doing it. He's such an alpha. I feel like it takes a certain submissiveness for him, like to actually listen to a therapist. And I could not see that at all with his alpha.
Him
like
doing therapist with a man?
Yeah, I couldn't see it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now I could see like a Christopher or somebody else. I mean, but like not a Tony. Yeah, we get that a little bit and we move over to the barbecue. But before that, there's this quick little moment where Janice parks, you know, Livia's car. You know, she looking suspicious, but we don't get what it is at this moment. It's the barbecue. It's going down. This is great. This feels like, you know, like any barbecue, especially a black barbecue. Barb comes in with the kids. They got plates wrapped up in foil. Everybody's excited to see each other. Carmela smiling. And she's happy because, again, just like last season with him and Artie, she loves to see Tony happy, which is a character trait that I do really like about Carmela. There's not a lot of great traits. That's one that I really like. So much happened in this scene, man. I know you got, I ain't gonna say I know, but maybe you got a lot of notes, but I definitely got quite a few notes in this scene because there was so much going on here.
For the whole barbecue?
The whole barbecue.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how they looked at Tony as far as Janice and the sister, and they held him in that. And what I had in my notes here. Go on, you tell me what you think, and I'm looking over mine.
Let me bounce off of that. Yeah, Barb being the baby, she looks at Tony like he's the boss, but he's the leader of this family. Since Dad is gone, let him handle it. He been taking care of Ma. He the one put her in Green Grove. He putting her house up for sale. Let him handle it. He been doing this. Like Barb may have pitched in a little bit, but Tony is solely the reason of taking care of Ma. So whatever the issue is with him too, let him handle it.
We started to notice that Janice is going to be a thorn in his side. That's one thing. This is the first time we meet Carmela's parents. And we started to see how much of a bitch Carmela's mom
I know
is.
He's waiting on that boy.
Totally different from what Tony's mom is, but almost the same. Like it's crazy. Like they're totally different people. However, just the impact is the same. So it's just a bitch there.
So this is like a non-mob version of it.
Yeah, this is the regular, I guess, Italian version of a mom.
Okay.
And I mean, that was pretty much it till we get to the other stuff.
Okay. A couple more things. 180,000 for Olivia's home. What you think about that price in 2000?
That was a good price.
Good price?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounded like it from that little dragged ass house that was.
Okay. Do you think that did you think Barb had any animosity towards Janice not being around?
I think Barb was a neutral party. She's like, fuck.
Okay.
You did what you did to get out. Tony did what he had to do since he stayed. I'm in the middle. I'm the baby. I don't really got to deal with the bullshit that y'all do, and I'm thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
I've totally have removed myself and have a family. So
yeah. Janice was harping on their mom not having a will. Do you think she's pushing for that because she's the oldest?
Janice is trying. Yeah, she's just trying to stir shit up.
Okay.
Ain't no will. Then maybe I can come in and get this. I want to let it be known. She's just trying to sway her position with Barb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's what I'm thinking. I want you on my side.
There's a scene in the kitchen. The mom is again talking to Carmela, and this is where I feel like this really puts the bow on where I feel like the trajectory of Carmela goes through the series, where she tells you, like, I told you he's gonna get tired of you and bored of you, and go for somebody younger or somebody else. And it really just sits. She didn't even reply. I was like, dang, she cut her deep. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, a mom saying that to their daughter, even though you might not like their husband and all that, but like cutting deep like that is crazy, dog. Like,
it line up for what Livia is, though. That ain't no crazy line from her, right? It's crazy to say for anybody else, but from what we've learned,
well, this is not Livia.
Tony's mom is.
So you're saying
she said that's what Tony's mom said.
Oh, yeah. Right. Because Carmela's mom said, okay, Carmela's mom
that's
just
why
said,
I haven't been around. How could she say some shit like that?
Oh, gotcha. But she hit it on the nose, though. That's crazy. Yeah. Lastly, a few more things. Carmela, again, having that special ability with Tony, she talks him off the legs. He gets heated when he sees the sign in Janice's car. Well, in Olivia's car that Janice is driving, he gets mad. They go in the room. She closes the door like, look, you need to calm down. Go outside and have you some pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was a weird wording for that. But for whatever reason, go have you some pleasure. Because maybe she realizes, even though they're not having sex, pleasure is the only thing that's keeping them somewhat normal since he's not in therapy. And she's not like, it gives you insight on what their marriage probably was like before therapy. That's what I'll say. When she say, look, when are you going back to therapy? I need you to see therapy. I don't want you. I don't think you should quit. This speaks volumes to how angry Tony might have always been, maybe not as much not being a boss, but what did you take from that scene? Her talking him off the legs like that before he walks out to the boys.
She could tell that he was too wound up. Like, yeah, he was right in his suspicions that Janice came to do some bullshit. And since Janice came to do some bullshit, we missed the black siding in the episode, by the way. Black dude came to pick Janice up in the Hummer.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. I need a sound effect for that. I'm going to come up with something.
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know if it was stretched from Naughty by Nature or what, but Janice was finna go have her a time. But
hey, boy.
But yeah, as Janice leaves, like you said, he see the sign. His suspicions are right, and this is what tips him over the edge. I've been trying to do everything I can right. I'm handling the mob shit right. It's great. Stuff is going good. I got the guy out of the way from Junior's camp. I'm getting position and control over there. I ain't really got too much to worry about, but it's still this bullshit family stuff. It keeps nipping at the bud and keeps, I won't say, belittling him. Like, Janice is looking at him like still, and we'll talk about this as the series goes on. Janice looking at him like, oh, it's just my little brother Tony.
Little fat boy.
Like, not the mob boss, not that shit, but like, I don't really care what you say. And no one else really looks at Tony like that other than her. So we see that right here, and Carmela know how that gets to him. She know how her being his person or whatnot, she know how he feels when no one is listening to him or doing against what he says. And she know this tips him over the edge. So she tries to calm him down, does what a good wife is supposed to do, and she did a great job. She did a great job of refocusing him, getting him back into the place of, hey, we got company. You need to entertain this company. They don't need to see you like this. I don't want anything crazy to happen. Just go out there and talk to them. We'll deal with the Janice shit later. I think Carmela was wonderful in this situation.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to Spike, man. Give him some crap for Miss Carmella. It's not gonna be Biddy out there. Just
No, definitely not.
but that's what's up. He walks out, he sees his boys, and he immediately in tack mode. What are you morons talking about? Moron, like, and he's mad at it, and he's like, is that a Saint Bernard? Oh no, that's my wife coming through. I like this line when I first watched it. I don't like it as much now because it's I thought a Saint Bernard is like referencing like a fat woman or something. And I kind of was
just
like
trying to say his wife was ugly.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because I was like,
Yeah,
she's not even fat, bro. Yeah, okay, it's ugly. Okay, that's hilarious.
He's trying to be funny, saying his wife is ugly. Yeah.
Okay, but he kind of brings Tony out of it for a second. He kind of gets a smile out of him. Was that a real smile where he kind of caught him off guard? Like, all right, okay, that was kind of funny.
No, I think that was a genuine smile. Like only your friends can do that. You know those situations where like you pissed off and your friend, like it could be like I've had this happen to me. I'm sure you have. Like your real true friends know, even though you're pissed off, like I can get this joke in though. And they can kind of break you and be like, yeah, that's funny. Like your real friends can do that. And I think that was the beauty of what Pussy was doing.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all know me. Y'all fuck with me, bro. Like, don't try to put this other bullshit on me. So yeah, I've had that situation before where you just pissed off and people who are really close to you can really like take the red out of your eyes and be like, look, bro, it's a joke. Come on, calm down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this was really good. But also it was good in the sense of, well, actually, go ahead.
Now go ahead, because you got it. Because I'm gonna follow up after you because you're going exactly where I was going next.
It was good in the sense of too, I think Tony kind of realized that Pussy was bullshit. Like, but I couldn't do nothing in the situation because it slows down again. And he's telling the story and he looks at Pussy and Pussy kind of gives him that look like, bruh, what was I supposed to do? Like he kind of gives him that look like, and Tony, like, he sees it.
Yeah.
But being that he loves Pussy, I can't, what am I supposed to do? I don't really know. He checked, he crossed his T's, he dotted his I's, like everything checks out. What am I supposed to do? But I still see that look because I know him. That's my boy, and I know that's the look of something that went wrong.
Bro, that's slow-mo.
Yeah. Tony, he knows something off.
Dog. Again, we're gonna get all kind of new stuff. That look right there and that slow-mo, like, because Big P's still going through it. He's still talking, blowing the cigar, having the conversation. It's almost like I know he's staring at me, but I'm trying not to look because I'm trying
to hold it together.
I'm trying to hold it.
I don't want that nigga to see the chink in armor.
Yeah, because if we lock eyes, it's gonna be a giveaway. Somewhere in there, you know something ain't hidden. And he knows Tony. He probably grew up with him knowing like he always been able to figure out things. He always been one of those type of people. Right here, Tony's looking, and he's I mean, it's the perfect joke, the perfect breakaway. He's smiling, and then the smile eventually changes to like a subtle look, and they're staring. But even then, it's like, I don't know how hard. I'm almost like, how does Tony know this though? Or at least, I mean, guess what clued him in on something is off? Because the joke wasn't that fire.
That's why he the boss. That's why he the boss. Like, that's his boy. The same way that Pussy knows how to make that joke when Tony's trying to be aggressive and to bring him down. The same way Tony know, like, nah, bro, you kind of doing like a little bit, like you ain't doing a lot. You just doing a little too much and something's off. Yeah. Like, cause you know that. Like, you felt that with your homeboys, with your wife, your daughter. Like, you have connections with people and you like, wait a minute now, some don't just seem right. And they may not be trying to completely deceive you as Pussy was, but when you have a connection with people, you can tell when something's off. And sometimes you try to ignore it because, like, I love him so much. Maybe I'm tripping. And you try to talk yourself into, like, maybe it's me. However, you still know you picking up on something that's off. Energy is real. And I think that was a dope scene right there where Tony's like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's just something that don't seem right. And that slow-mo was perfect by David. Man.
And taking that slow-mo, I think we should take that in. There's a scene later down the road, I think season 5. Not really a big reveal here. Like, but there's a quote. I'm not quoting it exactly, but Artie, when he's having a conversation with Tony, he's kind of doing bad and he's crying, and then he goes from crying to a regular face. He's like, you knew this would happen. Like how fast Artie snaps out of that. And he says, like, he says you have like the ability to see something from like a Hawkeye's view. Even if all else fails, then you knew you would gain a free tab or whatever. That's what he said there. But I think if we take this slow-mo and utilize it from Tony, how he gauges everything, we almost have to use that as like, okay, that's kind of his superpower. And even though they're not going to show a slow-mo every time to make something obvious, we can almost assume that's Tony's slow-mo moment. You know what I mean? So
yeah, this ain't the only time that it's happened in the series, right? This
Oh,
probably
the-
is the beginning, the first time that it's
Yeah.
happened, but we get to see Tony realize in real time, like, you trying to you're bullshitting me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So we go over to Chris at the Bing with the young bulls and Adriana,
And then just like with other Chris's scene, it showed you where he had grown. This one showed you how he was still not a boss.
Still not a boss. I can't wait till we get to the boss of the not the boss, but the villain of this season. Because there's a part he says that I thought was dope. But yeah, like them boys were super anxious. They're a little too anxious, but
disgusting.
I guess it was nuts. Like we'll take his dry cleaning.
Why would you even bring them to your? There's no way that I'm going out with my girl and got those two losers with me, bro. We not sitting like y'all. If so, y'all not sitting at the same table with us. Like, come on. And that's how Adriana was looking at it. Like, bro, what are you doing? Well, why are these two losers here with us talking about Tony Soprano?
Because she said, what did she say? She said something like they'll still be sniffing or.
Yeah, they still be kissing your ass.
No matter right in front of them. Like, if you're a junkie or not.
Like, these niggas don't demand no respect. I'm not breaking bread with these niggas, man. Like, this is waiting in the car.
Bro,
like, what?
This is the Weenie Hut Jr. Like, for Chris.
What?
Like,
the what?
Weenie Hut. Weenie Hut Jr. It's a SpongeBob reference. Is that? Oh. So there's Weenie Hut, and that's like, you super weak. This is Slaw, basically. Like, and then there's Weenie Hut Jr. Oh, you super, super weak. So this is Weenie Hut. Yeah. Coleslaw. Wow. So, this is coleslaw. You don't
below slaw.
Oh, below slaw. Okay.
Yeah, it's below slaw.
This is crazy. You don't got the type of crib Tony got. You don't have the type of operation Tony got. You can't really bring these dudes to a barbecue. You can't bring them to
Christopher thought process. Like, what were you thinking, bro? Why would you have these niggas on the date with you and your girl? Like, you not even the dude. They know you not the dude. But they not even treating you like the dude.
But it's a mindset.
It's crazy, bro. Like, that nigga was tripping.
It's
you left the gas burner on. You trying to get high in my crib? Like, nigga, get relaxed. Get your dusty junkie ass out of here. Like, Adriana's a bad bitch, dude.
Man,
like, come on, my nigga, you boy.
And that's so realistic because that's how it goes. It's like, you got this no good dude. Sure, he's nice looking. He got a great head of hair, as she says, but could maybe model. But it's like all of the flags are there, and that's how it is to be the bad one that still sticks with this scumbag.
He can't even control her here. He smacked her, getting smacked back.
She like, Tina Turnered him though. She came back with it. I was like, oh, whoa, like this is
nuts. Chris looked bad right here. As good as he looked in the other scene, he looked really bad right here.
I think they did a good job of sewing in right away, because I imagine David Chase, he didn't want to glorify any of this. He always wanted us to know these are bad guys. You guys want to fall in love and think they're good guys. None of them are good. You know what I mean? Even later with Bobby. So here, I feel like this is some. Huh?
I was just joking.
Well, some of us,
I don't know. You got Big Bobby fucking up.
That's funny, but like some of us love Christopher from the first season. Like, man, we just want him to win and stuff. And like right here, it's like, y'all thought y'all loved him. Y'all want him to, let's see him right here.
Chris, dirtbag.
Yeah, he's super, super scumbag right here. But it seems like it's a new development here that we never got before too. But this is definitely showing. This is the original toxic relationship, y'all. For y'all that 2023 out there in the world. So we go over to. Tony meets Melfi at the diner, but this was not set up. So clearly he's been watching her. This is a great moment, a great cinematography. I love diner and cafe scenes. Some reason they always look really good to me. It looks so important when you see it on cinema. So what are some things you gathered from this meeting?
Tony had been watching her, like you said. Mm-hmm. He definitely needs her help. She's right to be that upset with him. Mm-hmm. She does not know what she's in for. Like, he ain't really did a good job of filling her in and like, okay, what's the situation? Should I be scared for my life? Mm-hmm. Like, what's going on? But again, Tony really can't share that with her as well. So him popping in here, I think it was a great job. Like, it was a great job. It was a great conversation. And I also like how she stuck to her guns. Like she wasn't just thirsty to be like, oh, I want Tony as a patient again. Like, nah, I got shit going on. Somebody that killed themselves behind this bullshit while I'm basically trapping out the bando. You got me meeting people at the fucking motels and shit. Like, nah, I don't even get down like this. And I wouldn't even be doing no shit like this if it wasn't for you. This is beneath me. I love how that came off. Like, nah, bro, like get the fuck away from me. Like, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. And she had she held her guns, at least for this episode, on that. And Tony got it too. He got it. Like, this is a professional woman, bro. Everything that he loves about her is the reason why she's telling him, like, I can't be fucking having you as my patient, bro. Like, you a fucking cancer. So people are trying to kill me. Never happens in my job.
Yeah. But let me say this too. We always talk about the other side of Carmelo acting like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. This I'm sorry, Melfi, there's butter in your mouth melting. You don't remember that phrase where it come from? White caps. When it's just basically just saying, I could, you act like you could have went with this dude over here. You sitting here acting all like whatever, like butter would melt in your mouth. It's just something like you acting like you could have had a better way. Same thing here, Melfi. It's like, yeah, absolutely, you're a professional woman. However, when you seen him on the news, that was the clue in to get out. You should have got out then. So you kept going because you believe so much in your abilities as a therapist that you overlooked that. Even when you had the dinner with your Italian family and they kept making jokes and telling you, even your ex-husband saying like, yo, or even when the guy got beat up by the cop and your car got fixed, all these things kept happening, but you kept going forward. So now you want to be like, all right, man, come on, bro. And then on top of that, and I want to say, I think the theme of this season is it's someone else's fault. That's the theme I believe this season is. It's someone else's fault. And so right here, she's saying, I had a patient commit suicide basically because of you, which is foreshadowing. Can we put that on Tony?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't. No. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay. Tony says
you ain't have to be in no motel. That was up to you. Like, go get another building. Like, that's on you.
Yeah, low-key. Tony also says his family is better with him than without him. This is foreshadowing as well. Is that true? Are they better with him than without him?
Yes, absolutely. Why? None of them know how to be breadwinners. Like, there's no other bread. You're talking about, well, actually, all of his family, from the mob family to the Carmela and the regular family. Like, yeah, they need Tony Soprano. Okay. He is the pillar of all of the relationships as to how this thing goes and how they exist. 100%. And I think we see that in the last scene. Carmela doing what she needed to do for him to be comfortable.
Okay. But last bar that she said right here is crazy. How many people have to die for your personal growth? Whew. Boy.
That's the great thing about Tony. I'm a gangster. I don't give a fuck. That's a great thing about the narcissistic or whatever she called him. Like, bro, you could see it process in his face. Like, that's a great question, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a fuck as long as I get better and my people are okay. Like, I don't care how many people gotta die. Yeah. That's the great thing about this relationship with him and Melfi. Like, she's able to propose those type of questions to him. They hit, he relates to it, but him being Tony Soprano, like, I don't care. You're asking me the wrong shit. So
yeah, absolutely. And it, goes back to the college episode. One thing about our wise guy, one thing about us wise guys, you know what I mean? It never ends. And then our last scene of the episode, we just get this, kind of moment, him coming home. Great scene. It's a subtle scene, but she's like, I got some cold pasta. I can heat it up.
Home in the middle of the day, man.
In the middle of the day.
Not giving him a kiss earlier because he had been out so late. Right. So he goes to talk to Melfi. He's probably feeling down. She won't help him anymore. He's thinking, what do I need to do? I want to go home and be a family man, be there for my family. So I'm not going to hang out in the streets all night. I want to go home early before AJ gets there. Carm got warmed over pasta for him. It shows it's there. I just ain't trying to tap into it that often unless I'm feeling guilty or Dr. Melfi don't fuck with me. It shows that Tony has the capability to be that person. It's just not him.
Well, I tied to that line Seal had when Tony's situation changed, he's like, man, I'm coming home all late. I'm banging women. I'm getting drunk every day. He's like, what's the difference? It's a
Yeah, you're
mindset,
doing the same shit.
So I think it's funny, like you said, he could do something else, but he doesn't. But I think more than anything, he was looking for her to kind of serve in the Melfi space, somebody I could talk to. I think that's exactly what I thought, because he kept looking like I want to get into something with her. I'm kind of building up to it. And then I think he just kind of processes that I can't get into these things with my wife. I can't low key
tell her how I'm feeling.
You know what I mean? I can't tell you about what's going on in the mob, because then I'll make you an accomplice. I can talk a little bit with Melfi,
scare you.
Yeah, I'll scare you. I can talk to Melfi a little bit because there's a doctor-patient confidentiality. I can't go into Gumars. I can't go into anything really with you. I'm living a lie already. I would have to actually tell you the truth. You know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm just going to eat this pasta.
Yeah. And it goes to like what you said. That's a good point that you bring up. Like with Dr. Melfi, that's the only place that Tony can really be himself. I'm going to just give you these thoughts unfiltered, and I want you to give me feedback so I can then go out and apply that to the real world. I can't do that with Carmela because obviously I'm doing fuck shit. I can't do that with the guys because obviously like they not equipped to do what I'm doing. The only person that I could do that with that has a biased opinion is you, and she's depriving him of it. So I go home, I try to get it, but the only thing there is nurturing and love, but not really that intellectual stimulation that he's looking for.
And he talks about that later down the road about the type of woman that intrigues him. And we'll see that kind of come out later. But that is our episode. So we never leave the episode without first going through some of our rankings of this season 2 of The Sopranos. So first and foremost, Spike Lou, how do you rank this episode? Is it a made episode, untouchable? Is it a good earner, it's pretty good? Or is it just another envelope? It was all right.
It was just all right. It was a good earners episode. A good introduction for the
all right,
season.
so it was just another envelope, or it was
just
good?
Another envelope, excuse me. Just another envelope.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just another envelope.
For
a lot
me,
of setup shit.
Yeah, for me, I thought it was made, honestly. It's probably a low made when we get to all of the made episodes of the whole series, but it was made. They hit the gas, and I feel like this episode was better than a lot of episodes in the first season, to me. Like the ones that are like kind of mundane or whatever that I like, but they're not made this like immediate. Like, we got right too. So it was a lot of setup, but I really liked where they went, and they did it in 49 minutes. So it's like,
this is a different stride from the first season as to where we're going for the rest of the season, how the Sopranos plays out. Yeah, This one does have more of a familiar pace than all of the first season.
Yes.
This is where they kind of get in their bags.
Yeah. They definitely are getting in the bag here.
Knowing what they want to do, how they want to relay it, how long it's going to take, the plot points they want to hit. All of that stuff is starting to become more prevalent here in season 2, even after the first episode.
Okay. Who gets the good earner award, man? Who's the MVP of this episode?
The MVP of this episode. It's hard not to just go with Tony here, but I would go with Dr. Melfi. Denying him the access back, still grinding on without what she had to do out of a hotel. Dude trying to kind of, well, my other therapist, he does it at his house. Yeah, well, I ain't got that luxury, nigga. Like, pay your 90, 95 an hour and get out of here. So, yeah, I like Dr. Melfi kind of held her own this episode. Shows that even with all the stuff happening, she's still able to do what she does, which is a credit to how good she is at what she does. Who you got?
That's really good. I'm going Big P, man. Big P had the odds stacked against him. Regardless of whatever, he had the odds that you're coming back to the mob with no unanswered questions, and you got to weasel your way back in there, and you came back and didn't get whacked.
That's a good pick. Yeah.
I got to go Big P.
Got killed that first day, really.
Right off rip, right down. You know what I mean? So
first day.
So I got to give it to Big P. I almost went Carmela, but the other stuff kind of takes it away from there. So I'm gonna definitely go Big P. Who got the broken balls? Who took the biggest L of this episode?
Chippendale. Those two idiots.
Yeah.
We got a new Brendan for this season, who was probably my hated character of last season. So we got 2 new Brendans this season. We get to see where they take us to. But yeah, there's these 2 idiots. You know, I hate dumb people.
I'm gonna say Chris, man. Cause because he's managing the young bulls. Like he's managing them. They not doing a great job. He high on coke at the job. He leaves the job. Tony has to check him and grabs him by his face. He tried to boss up in front of the young boys with his woman talking to her and slapping her, and she slaps him back. And he said, "Go make me go." They called him a junkie. Like, dog. You know what I mean? Like Chris, he to me hands down like broken balls. And lastly, what is your favorite moment of this episode, Spike Lee?
I like the Janice moment. That like Janice and Tony filling each other out, smoking a cigarette in the back. She asks who wears the pants in this relationship. Tony still kind of he thinks that he knows what she does for, but she plays into her character. Short game before the long game. Oh, just give me a couple hundred. I get the car fixed and I'm gonna take mom back to Seattle. Mm-hmm. Nah, I'm gonna take the sign out of the yard. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to move in the house. Like, I'm gonna disrupt it and cause all kind of trouble. But again, Tony couldn't sniff that out. And that like he was trying to, that's the whole reason he went out there. And the thing that I take from that is like he just came down, right? Mm-hmm. Just came down, just doing his sweats for the day. Who puts a pocket full of money in their sweats? He knew at some point in time, Janice is down. I'm gonna have to break her off. And then she walked out to the back. He knew, okay, let me go on back here. Let me go on and break her off what I need to break her off with. Like that, but she still got him.
Man, that's still a great deep dive there, Spike. You pulled that one.
Because I thought about it like, bro, I ain't never woke up in the morning and had my a wad full of money in my sweats unless I knew it was a fucking somebody was coming to fix something or I had to pay somebody some money. So like he knew what was up.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He still got him. I need this and the rest. So, yeah.
Good pull. It's an easy one. It's Tony with the slow-mo with Big P. I mean, you could put any kind of soundtrack music right there, and that scene will just cut through silence so crazy, bro. Crazy scene. I got the laughter off, got it all off, and Tony had to revert from being mad at Janice to focusing in on our true enemy has yet to reveal himself. So is it him? Is it not him? You know, we'll see. But nonetheless, Big P, the stare off that Tony gets off, I think that is the best moment. And that is our episodes, man. If y'all haven't already, man, y'all can email us goodearnerpod@gmail.com. Y'all can hit us up on Instagram, goodearnerpod_Sopranos. You can, DM us. Or you just get your meme fix over there. We also on YouTube as well. So leave some comments, subscribe, man. Share it with some friends, man. This is something to really enjoy this season. If y'all are looking on YouTube, we have a whole different interface. I'm trying to give us a different one each season. So y'all just tune in, man. We're doing some good things. Maybe some merch will come soon. But in the meantime, remember, don't forget about it.